Hi there, thanks for watching. I'm Fabiano Martucci, and in this video I'm going to explain the aspects of the mind and correlated topics such as decision-making process and well-being with identification and ego. Check it out! The mind is defined as a person's ability to think, feel emotions, understand things and reason. Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist economist, author of Thinking Fast and Slow, explained us in terms of two selves. There is the experiencing self, who lives in the present, knows the present and has the present. The experiencing self lives life continuously. It has moments of experience one after the other. And there is the remembering self, which is the one who lives in the past or in the future. It keeps scoring and maintaining the story of our life. The remembering self is a storyteller, which pictures, images and voice inside your head. Consequently, what we keep from our experience is a story, and the mind's always telling stories. Sometimes it travels to the past, sometimes it creates the future. Another point of view from this aspect comes from Eckhart Tolle, a spiritual teacher and author of The Power of Now. He brings the idea that we have two very different entities. One is you, your true self, and the other is the ego. He defines ego as our identification with form, ideas, status, talents, and even events. Basically, ego is the external image we have of ourselves, how we identify ourselves. In yoga, the mind has four fundamental parts: manas, buddhi, ahankara, and chitta. Manas is the mind function, the thought process. It functions to collect and store impressions from life experiences. Then, it carries the accumulated data, the memory, to buddhi. Buddhi is the intellect. It has the ability to form and retain concepts, to understand and assimilate life experiences. Buddhi discerns, judges and concludes that something is such and such a thing. Ahankara, the identity or egoism, is considered a state of subjective illusion, an affirmation attributed to one's own individuality. It is the faculty that allows people to identify with ideas, places, or things. And chitta is the source of all knowledge, pure intelligence and consciousness. It is the adobe of the true self, the consciousness that inhabits all beings. And here is the point where we jump into the yoga spirituality. When you remove your mental modifications, stop that indeterminate thinking, and deconstruct your identification, only chitta remains. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, yoga is defined as Yoga Chitta Vitri Nirodha Tadadrastu Swarupe Avastanam. Yoga is a stoppage of mental modifications, so that the seer is established on its own self. In other words, when you silence the fluctuations of your mind, you discover you experience your true self. You can look at it as a deconstruction process. You start to deconstruct, layer after layer, everything that forms your ego, like prejudice, racism, identification, objectification, and so on. People are identified with all sorts of stuff, and unaware of this condition, people make decisions towards what they are identified according to their likes and dislikes, limited by their own barriers. Basically, they continue feeding the ego and letting desires and expectations influence them. Let me give you two examples of how identification can influence your well-being. In my case, I was identified with Corinthians, a football team from Brazil. As a supporter, I defended Corinthians from jokes, I went to the arena several times, I was always praying for the best. When Corinthians lost a match, I lost it together. I felt sad and disappointed, and definitely it impacted on my mood and happiness. And the same is applied in politics. In an election, people vote for candidates whom they believe will bring progress and promote positive change. It's an external event that demands your decision and asks your participation. But who is the right person? So before making a decision, people will get informed, collect data and verify what their reference network is saying about it. Probably you will read some news, check your social media and talk to people that matter to you. After that, you will identify yourself with a political party or a person or a project. Something will please you. Most importantly, your vote makes sense to you. You believe that you are making the best decisions possible and your intentions are good. From now, you belong to a particular group of people who share the same point of view. You have a side. If your candidate wins the election, it's even better. Now you are also a winner, you did your job. And the story could end there and start again next election, but normally it's not simple like that. So imagine that after 1 year the candidate, who is now exercising a position of mayor or president, has been criticized by his or her actions, or accused of corruption, inefficiency, or even racism. After hearing someone criticize what they are identified with, many feel personally attacked. In this way, people will react to protect their beliefs, to preserve their ideas and safeguard their idols. The answer is biased, and for sure they will find creative ways to justify others' actions. By the end, the egoistic behavior generates division and aggressiveness. Both sides are not able, neither are willing to listen to each other. That is the action of ahankara and buddhi. If you are not aware of your ego, it will conduct you to believe, follow and obey. Those were two examples of how identifications influence your well-being, behavior and decisions. Have in mind that you are not your body, you are not your job, neither your clothes, you are not even your religion. You, like everything around you, are constantly changing. And change sometimes is difficult, and you need to work hard to make it happen. But believe me, life without change is lighter and pleasurable. As Swami Vivekananda said, the real man is behind the mind and the mind is the instrument on his hands. So thank you very much for watching. I'm super happy to have recorded this video. I hope you like it. Comment if you have questions or suggestions. I would love to answer you. If you want to go deeper in the topic, take a look at the reference I added in the video description. In the next video, I will talk about desires and social expectations. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it to your friends. Remember that the crowdfunding is going on, so donate and choose the reward that you prefer. In return for your contribution, you can schedule yoga classes, mentoring sessions, project evaluations, or even pre-order my book. Access transformationsteps.org for more information. And thank you very much.